Congresswoman, with regards to where we ended with Heidi, what is your sense of how this looks right now, particularly because the filibuster remains such a significant potential obstacle to getting anything else in the Biden administration's agenda done in the next 4 years? How does it look to you right now on this infrastructure package in terms of its chances of becoming law?
Well, Joshua, thanks so much for having me. And if I might offer my concern and sympathy for the people of Florida and Surfside, Miami-Dade. All of us have been offering our prayers and concern, but more importantly, as a member of the Homeland Security Committee and knowing Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz, we have all been ready to be of assistance in any way we can in terms of the resources of the federal government, which I appreciate have been very much in the forefront by President Biden. So I simply wanted to say that we continue to pray for that community. And their lives, even though that is a private ownership, but I think more than ever, it emphasizes that we have no other option, Joshua, than to work this through. And some of the senators that I've had the opportunity to speak with, even though there is disagreement about size and the idea of the bipartisan deal, I believe that there will be no option other than to get it done. And here's how I think it will be done. Obviously, the discussion is that whether we take the smaller deal, which is the compromise, but we've heard Speaker Pelosi, we've heard a number of us in the Democratic caucus. I certainly am part of the Progressive Caucus, Vice Chair. We have been working for a long time to tell the president that America does need a much larger deal, which would include infrastructure. Just a few days ago, a pedestrian bridge in Washington, D.C. collapsed. That didn't get a lot of news, but it did. But we need a climate fix. And having spent a week or two in Texas where people died in the freeze, we need to be able to deal with that. So I think where we're going to go is that members of Congress know that their constituents want anything, it's infrastructure. But the nation needs the care economy, climate change. So here's where I think we're going to go, down to the wire. It's going to go down to the wire. And I do think that there's going to be, with the leadership in the House and the Senate, to find that way to get that budget reconciliation numbers that we're going to need with the president, with the vice president, and then move on. I do hear some of the commentary about midterms, but we got to get it done way, way before that.
Well, let me ask you about another issue that I think in another dimension might have been very easily bipartisan, and that is the commission to investigate the attack on January 6th. Chris Hayes spoke to your colleague, Congressman Hakeem Jeffries of New York, about that. Here's part of what the congressman said.
You know, it wouldn't shock me if he chose Jim Jordan, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert. He's got quite a collection of characters to choose from. And it's not my expectation, given Kevin McCarthy's past practice, that he'll do anything other than bend the knee to Donald Trump. In fact, we probably could expect that Donald Trump over the next few days will issue recommendations as to who he thinks should be on this committee. And Kevin McCarthy will follow those recommendations, hook, line, and sinker. But that's not going to stop us from uncovering the truth.
Congresswoman, do you share Congressman Jeffries' concerns about the future disposition of this commission, or do you have confidence that it will be able to do its job credibly and accurately?
Joshua, one thing I do have confidence in is that the American people, not us in Congress, are demanding the truth. The numbers, I think, are over 70%, joining with Democrats who say you must investigate this. The citadel of democracy was attacked, but they are still in shock. There's still PTSD, tragically, not only among the American people in terms of watching what happened, but law enforcement officers who are actually there. So my perspective is first to applaud the leadership for not stopping. We all would have rather to have an independent commission. I'm on Homeland Security. I was here for the 9/11 Commission. We helped put it together because it had not been organized under the Bush administration. But I think that there will be enough ability with the tools that the commission will have, the subpoena powers, the witnesses that will come forward, the witnesses that want to come forward, the police officers that want to be heard, that truth will prevail over tomfoolery. And no matter who the opposition or our friends on the other side of the aisle decide to appoint, and it will be a disservice to them if they would dishonor those officers who are still injured, who are hospitalized, and who lost their life. If they would dishonor them by tomfoolery, we will not be engaged in tomfoolery. We'll be engaged in serious investigation. I mean, the select committee that the speaker will select, they will be members who will be engaged in serious deliberation with, we hope, subpoena powers. And you cannot shush witnesses. You cannot quiet truth witnesses. And as I understand it, there's a litany, a line of individuals, Joshua, that want to come forward and tell truly what has happened. We need to know where the beginning strategies for that day came about. How long ago was it planned? Was there any connection to the White House? Were there buzzwords or were there signal words said by the president's son or the president or any of the other speakers that might have empowered these individuals? And what was their ultimate goal? We've heard it publicly, but what was the ultimate goal? All of this is so crucial, and I think truth will not be denied.
Democratic Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee of Texas. Congresswoman, good to see you tonight. Thank you very much.